Hey, everybody, guess what? We're live. It's Tuesday. I'm so excited because we have back one of my favorite people, Melinda Doolittle. We're here to talk all about American Idol, and we're so excited to talk about our locals. How's it going this morning?
Listen, it's going great. I've already had a wonderful morning and even had a donut, so I'm a happy camper right now.
That's always better. Donuts make life
All
better.
right. And our locals made it through.
I can't remember the last time we've had two in our local area who've made it this far. It's been a while.
It's been quite a while. So I'm quite excited to see kind of what happens. I feel like we're losing contestants at an alarming rate. So
Yeah, let's talk about that. I felt like I had to adjust because Sunday we started out with 24, we went down to 16, and then from Sunday to Monday we went from 16 to 10, and I'm like, I felt like I didn't really get to say goodbye, or they really didn't even do a package about these people who left. It was just like they're gone.
I can't even if you ask me in this moment, like who were the people that got sent home, I'd be like, I don't actually know. We went down to half in a week's time. Like that shouldn't be a thing that really in like 2 days time because
Yeah,
we just we lost half of our people
I
and
know.
it was so jarring
Yes, I
to
agree.
me that. And then when Ryan was like, next week we lose three. And then we're going to bring back a contestant from the last season. And I was like, too much, sir. Too
It's
much.
overload. It's overload. Come on. We're just trying to keep up with who's left.
It's so hard. I was trying to take notes kind of as it was happening last night. And I was like, oh, you're letting them know in real time whether they made it or not. And then they have to sing, which is
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah.
Like either way, you make it, you're excited, you have to sing. You don't make it, you're heartbroken, you have
Right.
to sing.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
Yes. Yes. Last night was a big night because Paula Abdul came back because Luke Bryan tested positive for COVID. So it was so incredible. Did you see? I had to rewatch. I was out last night, but I got home later. Did you see what they did? The picture, they held up the picture of Paula Abdul and Ryan, because Ryan's the only one he's still there from the beginning.
He's our only one. And listen, if Ryan ever leaves, I'm gone. Like I he's like my saving grace right now because there's a thread. I will be honest, there are some executive producers that are still there that have been there from the beginning. So there are behind the scenes people, but not even that many of them. So for me, my litmus test is Ryan because I'm like, we need you. So seeing that picture, it just brought back so much. And her being a judge, like stumbling over a few of her words, that's one of my favorite things she does. But like also giving actual critique. Like I thought it was refreshing to have her. I hate that Luke Bryan has COVID, so I wish him well. I want him to get better and come on back. But the nostalgia of having her and then Randy's face popping up on FaceTime, and I was like, we just need a Simon. Can Simon come? Like I was like, let's see, if Luke has COVID, then he's got to be out for maybe 10 days, which means next week they're going to need somebody else. So would that be Simon? Like,
I don't know. I don't think he would come back. Didn't Paula say he's not coming back, or he wouldn't come back, or something
I
like
think so, but I just, a girl
that? You can wish.
a girl can dream.
Maybe Randy will come back. That's a possibility.
He could. He was like the least coherent of the three for me as far as like critiques. So, but I would even want to hear him say, dog, for you, well, for me, for you, it was kind of all right. Like I miss that too. So
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of making it a full circle. I mean, it's kind of cool that she agreed to do that and they brought her back.
it was. Honestly, she's the sweetest soul and still remembers us. Like if we message her, she automatically responds. And she's like,
Wow.
how are you doing? Are things going well? I'm trying to follow you on the socials. I see that you're doing this and this. Like she's still so supportive of us that I just adore her.
Wow. Yeah, it was fun to watch that and see that.
Mhm.
Talking about, okay, we got to talk about this. Wyatt Pike dropped out.
I I don't even like, and Ryan said it like we were going to like a commercial break or something. Like it wasn't a big. He was
Again,
like,
like, wait a minute, we're losing people left and right. Don't be telling me somebody just dropped out and I don't even understand what's happening here to me. Like, what was that?
I'm trying to figure out because obviously last night was the first live show.
Right.
So then I don't know when they taped the one that aired
The Sunday night,
on
yeah.
Sunday. So I don't know how long it's been and what may have happened in that amount of time. But I'm going to do my sleuthing and try to figure that out because I was
Okay.
like, where is he?
I don't
Like,
know. Oh, you figured that out. Let me know.
he had such a great performance
I
too.
know. And we talked about him a lot last week. I really enjoyed his thing with, yeah.
So it's just a lot. It's too much.
Yeah. Yeah. So in
Mhm.
addition, we're losing people and then he drops out, but there wasn't a whole lot of explanation.
Mm-mm. Which I know on The Voice, that happened with one of their contestants recently, and it was because he did not follow their COVID guidelines. They
Oh.
set really strict ones, and he didn't, and they were like, bye. And I mean, it just was a rule, hard and fast. Sorry that didn't work out for you. Maybe you can come back next time. And they just kind of moved on.
Okay.
So I mean, I don't foresee that happening to Wyatt. It sounded like it was his choice and not theirs, but I know that this is happening on shows right now that are just trying to be so safe. And
Right.
kudos to them for even like bringing Paula in so last minute,
Right.
like just figuring out how to make it work as best they can and keeping like social distance and but still having a live band and having a live audience but having pods. Like they're doing so much to make this work, and I'm really impressed by that.
Yeah. Yeah. I would agree with that too. So the second half, we had Cassandra performed. That's our local who made it to the top 10. And she did Lights On. I wasn't familiar with that song, but
I didn't
had
know
you?
the song at all. I don't even really know Maggie Rogers, so I was like, I don't know what's happening. But here's what I will say about that performance. I feel like it was the first time I kind of saw her let go a little bit. I think her emotions were just like, what? I made it through. And she just kind of, ugh. And part of that was really magical because it brought out this kind of fierceness. And then other parts of it got away from her just a little bit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like all that emotion packed into that moment, that it's understandable. And we weren't voting based
Right.
on that. We were just getting to see kind of her in her element of just singing, just okay, whew. And I really think if she can like hone in on that feeling of like, I'm here, I'm supposed to be here, I made it, and then use the control that she's been using in weeks prior, she's gonna kill it. I love her voice so much.
Yeah. And she did. I looked up on social media. She did say she's only been performing for 2 months, really, since the show started.
Right.
So I have see a lot of people critiquing her in social media accounts saying she seems so nervous. Well, if she's only been performing for 2 months in front of a live audience on national TV, that's a
Listen,
pretty big thing to ask of someone.
it was literally the scariest experience I've ever had in life. And I had been at least a background singer for 8 years leading up to it. So I've been on stage and it still is just a scary experience. Like there's no way to get around that really. So if you're coming in without experience of being in front of an audience, and not only are you in front of an audience, but millions of people are watching and everybody's going to judge you when you finish. Like I would implore anybody to try that and do that
Right.
without nerves. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Right.
scary.
Yeah.
So scary.
Yeah, but she did great. And so hopefully we can't vote right now, but next week, you guys please vote for our locals. You're kind of reminding me that last week when you said I voted, and I'm like, I should be voting. These are our local. So I did. I voted.
Yay.
So I'm reminding.
I've been trying to vote. They make it a little difficult because you have to vote before 6 a.m. the next morning. So if you don't watch immediately or live, then you're out.
Yeah.
And I think even this next Sunday, Ryan said we're voting in real time, which means like
during the show,
we're going to find out at the end of the show which 3 are getting sent home. Because then on Monday is when they bring the old contestants back. So I honestly think we have to vote live. And that makes it so difficult. We're at such a DVR culture at this point, you know?
Oh, yeah.
That it's
I hardly watch any shows live anymore. I try to do this one now that I know. But yeah, most of them I do not catch when they come on.
Yeah, so I'm going to try my best to be watching and everything and live tweeting. I live tweet if I'm watching live, but
yeah, which I love. You guys should follow Melinda because that's always great. Her commentary.
It's a little, it's a little iffy, but I do enjoy it. I love hearing other people's perspectives. So it helps kind of see that we all have such different points of view. And that's what makes the show kind of beautiful, is that there's somebody for everybody. Like there's an artist for everybody.
Yeah. So let's talk about another local person. I mean, coming in at the last minute, they were about to close down the show, and then they finally called his name. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not even there, but I'm like having a moment here watching this.
I can't imagine what he was going through emotionally. And I kind of felt like on Sunday night, he had a good night, but it wasn't like one of those like standout performances that I thought might get him through when we were cutting the group in half, basically. So I was nervous for him, and I love Graham. So I was like, wait, I love them both. And then when he was like, that's one of my closest friends. Like, I love him. I was like, please let our local make it through, but then also let them save Graham. Like, that's what I wanted to happen. Obviously, that's not what happened. But the fact that I saw like him try to almost internalize like all the feelings of like, yay, I made it through. Oh my gosh, the person I'm closest to did not.
Yes.
And now I have to perform. Like that's a whole lot to ask. And then he's singing I Can't Make You Love Me, which
my
is
body rate. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Which is like you think of those words in like on a show where people are voting for you and you're honestly like trying to make them love you, and just it was too much emotion all at one time.
All at the end of the show. I'm like, what? Y'all are playing with my heartstrings here.
Seriously, but I felt like that performance it reminded me of what I love about him, like the purity of his voice. It was beautiful. It honestly was like, and he used the emotion to his advantage.
Yeah.
Which is a huge feat in that kind of place.
Yeah. And one thing the judges keep saying about him, I think Paula said this, Lionel has said this, is they keep talking about how unique his voice is. So I'm like, is this a good thing or is this a bad thing? Because they've said it multiple times to him. I'm starting to wonder, is this a good thing, I hope?
I think it's a good thing. I think especially in this competition, we have so many different tones, but the guys in general are pretty like gritty in their tones. Like they get Chase and Grant, like Wyatt even, like they just have this grit that kind of comes through. And Hunter is like this really pure, like bell tone of a voice. And it's a higher tenor voice.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of floats. And that's not a lot of what we've been hearing. We're hearing belty, like just get down in there. And he does have something unique in that. And I think it could be refreshing. So
that's what I'm hoping for. I just want to get your take on that because they have said that. Paula said that last night. Lionel said it Sunday night. So I think somebody.
You kind of want them to be a little more specific about what they mean with unique.
Yeah, I'm like, what does this mean? What are you trying to say?
That's kind of like one of the critiques I might give when I can't find something really nice to say sometimes.
See, that's what I was wondering. Is this like under, like, I don't know, you're kind of unique, but.
So, like when you're like, wow, you did your thing. It could sound like that, but I took it as like he is an outlier in this particular group, and it is kind of refreshing to hear his take on things, and kind of like it's like a palate cleanser, and then you go to the next belt.
True, we do have a lot of belters.
We do, but then we have like Cassandra, who is not completely a belter. We have Ava August.
Okay, I was a little disappointed with Ava on Sunday. That wasn't my favorite.
Well,
the thing with Josh Groban, I was like, wow, okay, you guys should go on tour. Please go. Like, that was amazing. And then Sunday, I'm like, oh, what?
I heard the judges be like, your classiness, like that's the thing that we love about you, and that's what sets you apart. And I think I wrote in my notes, actually, like, I have to remember that this is a 15-year-old. Like, she's literally a teenager, and not even like late teens. Like, she's
baby teen.
She's a baby.
She doesn't have her driver's license, I don't think.
So, like, she was 15 in that performance. She honestly was. And so I had to remind myself, okay, she's a kid, and she's going to have, like, this is the kind of music she actually listens to. So while she has this old soul of a voice, that doesn't mean that she herself is an old soul. So she's kind of like, oh, this is fun. And then she figured out really quickly, okay, this is not what they like.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that she had this Queen song in her back pocket, because, and obviously she knew to do both, because there was no time. It was literally the next, it was recorded. So she did have time to figure out my next song should be.
Yeah, before the live show.
Yeah. Okay. Well, she took that very well and acted on it, because well done, little girl.
And did you notice Alyssa Ray did another Whitney song last night? I was like, oh.
I don't think that's the path for her. And I think Paula was kind of trying to explain, like, that's a tall order. Like, when you're singing Whitney, and not just singing Whitney, but like singing the greatest love of all. Like,
the most, I mean,
that's like quintessential Whitney. And so it has so much expectation on it that you start at a deficit. Like, you just do. Like, as soon as I heard she was singing that, I was like, prove it. Like, that's how I'm going to listen to you.
Yeah.
And she's got such a great voice. She's got to figure out how to kind of harness it a little better. But she honestly, I was equating her voice, not her, this has nothing to do with stature or anything like that, but vocally, she reminds me of like those amazing, huge dogs that don't know how big they are. Like, they're puppies on the inside, and they don't know, like, that they can just wreak havoc when they jump on something because they're so big. That is her voice to me. It's so big that she doesn't know, like, the power that's about to come out of it. So she's like, ah! And then we're all like, what just happened?
You're like, okay.
It's the second she learns how to harness that, she's going to be a problem. Honestly, she's going to be a problem for everybody, because she's got such talent. And if she figures out how to control that, people are in trouble.
Oh, I think, did they say it on the show, or did I see it in social media that Jennifer Hudson DM'd her about?
She said that on the show, that Jennifer Hudson was like, save some.
Yeah, yes.
Save
so
some.
that goes along with what you're saying.
Because I think Jennifer gets it too. Jennifer has that huge voice.
Yeah.
And she had to learn how to rein it in. and like use her dynamics to really create this beautiful picture. And she's the queen of doing that now. And I feel like Alyssa has all of that talent in her. And the second she learns how to use it, it's about to be awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that. Let's see who else. Grace came back.
Listen,
I'm like, wow.
Grace, she's so good. She's so good. And I will say, like, if I'm being like nitpicky, this is me being nitpicky because she's so good. She went sharp quite a few times on some of those notes. And I think a lot of that came from excitement. That's normally what happens to me when I get excited. Like when those nerves hit, I overshoot a little bit. And I think she probably did that. So it was more times than I've heard her kind of go off pitch. But still, even with that, it was so impressive.
It was. I'm always impressed. Alyssa and Grace, those two, I'm like, wow.
She's so good. She's so good. I think she's going to be around for the long haul.
Yes, for sure. Well, it's great that we can support our locals. We're going to get to see them again on Sunday. So tell me again, we're going to lose 3 on Sunday. I can't keep up with the losing. That's killing me.
Ryan said we lose 3 on Sunday. We go to a top 9. And then on Monday, they bring back 10 contestants from last season. They perform and we vote one of them into this season. Okay. So then we'll have a top 10 by the end of Monday.
Wow. Another top 10. Okay.
I know. It's a lot happening.
It's a lot.
I don't love the thought of bringing back an old contestant because I'm like, just bring Murphy back. That's all I want them to do. But they're not going to do that. But I think that they're like, at least that last season just really, it was hard on them, like trying to do it from their homes and all of that. Yeah. So to give them just even the opportunity to perform on that stage is a beautiful thing. Like, I think that's great. I'm like, can we just see them perform and then nobody be in this season? Like,
yeah, because I would think that would be hard on the current contestants to bring someone from last season. I don't know. I feel like that adds a whole other different layer. And right. And are they holding these guys, talking about COVID, are they holding these 10 contestants somewhere right now for the,
most likely. They were so careful, like with Hollywood Week and everything. They were so careful that I'm like, they have to have been holding these people. They get tested multiple times. They're in their own rooms. They're quarantined and they're just like, they go to rehearsal and that's it.
Oh, so. Wow. So that's kind of be hard on these contestants because usually you would get to hang out and spend time with each other. And
I'm hoping that they can like at least all be in a room, but they just probably have to stay pretty far from each other. But I know Hollywood Week, they spend a lot of time on their own. So.
And that can be hard during a competition too. You get in your head, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, like the best part of the experience for me was the family atmosphere. Like those contestants that I went through that with, I'm still family with at this point. Like we do life together still. Their children call me Aunt Melinda. Like we're family. We seriously are. Like we have a group message on Facebook where we keep in touch with each other. Any milestones that happen, we make sure that we know about it and are there for each other. So I hope that they still get that family atmosphere.
Yeah. Hopefully.
We saw it a little with Hunter and Graham, so maybe it's there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's there.
In their own COVID way, right?
Right.
now. I have reached out. I've tried to see. I don't know what the rules are, but I've tried to see if we can get one of them on. So maybe we can set that up.
Let me know, because I'd love to hear kind of what their experience is like right now, if they can talk about it.
Yes. So I've reached out. Hopefully we'll keep you guys updated, see if we can get them on the show, talk about it, see what's happening, and we'll go from there. Hopefully we can keep rooting our locals. I mean, tell Tell everybody how important it is, because you were living here at
Oh,
the time. How important is it to know that you have locals here rooting for you, supporting you?
it made so much difference for me. Even like the second that my audition aired, I didn't realize I was still home in Brentwood. So I didn't know like the weight of it. And then I went to the grocery store like the next day and got chased around and was like, why are you running after me? And people were like, we love you so much, we can't wait to vote, you're a Brentwood girl. And I was like, oh my gosh, like and I got like, it let me know that there was at least a foundation of voters, like a foundation of people that believed in me and weren't like blindly voting. Like we have good contestants that are local. So that makes a difference. But they felt a connection to me because I was from their city, you know, and it made a difference for me to have that and to know that I had that. And I want that for Cassandra and for Hunter, just to know, like, we see you, we're so proud of you. You're representing us so well. So let's give back to that.
Yeah.
And let's really represent for you guys.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Okay, you guys don't forget, vote. We'll keep you updated, see if we can talk to one of them. I have reached out, so we'll let you know. All right, we will see you guys soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.